Now give the floor to the representative of Germany.
Thank you, Madam President. Today's unanimous decision to authorize a new supervision mission of the United Nations in Syria is an important, far-reaching step. We have supported the resolution because we stand entirely behind the efforts of the Joint Special Envoy Kofi Annan to achieve a sustainable cessation of violence and to facilitate a political transition process in Syria. We supported the resolution because we share the assessment made by Mr. Annan and the Secretary General that the deployment of observers under the right conditions could positively influence the dynamics on the ground. At the same time, Madam President, we must all be aware that the decision taken today is not without risks. Clearly, the cessation of armed violence is incomplete. The authorities in Damascus continue their attacks on the population. They continue to shell the city of Homs with artillery, and they have not withdrawn their troops and tanks from the barracks to the barracks. Other forms of violence continue unabated, such as arbitrary detentions, torture, abductions, and violence against children, women, and minorities. The Syrian government continues to play for time, despite its own commitment made to the Joint Special Envoy and repeated demands made by the Security Council for immediate and full implementation of the six-point plan. Madam President, our work is not done with the adoption of today's resolution. To the contrary, our work has only begun. We must now ensure that the observers have the necessary security and can operate freely and in the right conditions to effectively implement their mandate. The new UN mission must not, under any circumstances, become a pawn in tactical and political games. We have made all efforts to ensure that Resolution 2043 adequately reflects these concerns. It is now for the Syrian authorities to prove that they live up to their responsibilities. If they don't do so, the Security Council has made clear that it will consider further steps. We must remain vigilant. Too many commitments made by Damascus in the past have not been kept. We have therefore asked the Secretary General to carefully assess the conditions on the ground before deploying personnel. We've asked him also to report immediately and in short intervals on any obstruction of the mission. It will be our task to act appropriately. Madam President, the observers may contribute to solidifying a cessation of armed violence, but they cannot substitute for a political solution. The deployment of observers is only one, albeit crucial, element of the six-point plan of the Joint Special Envoy. We thus welcome that UNSMIS will comprise civilian personnel with relevant expertise, such as on human rights and gender, to monitor and support implementation of other aspects of the six-point plan. Here, too, urgent action is required by Damascus. As stated by the Secretary General, actions on the ground must be consistent with stated commitments to carry out the six-point plan. For instance, the status and circumstances of thousands of detainees remains unclear, and there are reports of significant abuses. No substantive progress has been achieved on humanitarian access to those in need or in increasing the capacity of those humanitarian organizations on the ground. Clearly, the elements of the six-point plan are all closely interlinked. We have today made an important step on one of the six elements. Others need to follow, with the goal to enable as quickly as possible a political transition process towards a democratic and pluralistic system. In our view, accountability for the crimes committed must be a central element of the transition process. We have repeatedly stressed that there cannot be any return to the status quo ante. In closing, Madam President, I would like to applaud Secretary General Ban Ki-moon for his strong leadership and reiterate our full support to the efforts of the Joint Special Envoy Kofi Annan and his team. Thank you, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Germany, and I now